In this travel vlogumentary, we journey into the foothills of the Himalayas, exploring the historic and vibrant Nepalese capital, Kathmandu.
We take a closer look at local culture and traditions while discovering 7 incredible UNESCO World Heritage sites, from the famous Monkey Temple to the nearby ancient capital of Bhaktapur and the surrounding regions in the Kathmandu Valley. Each location reveals a piece of Nepal's rich history.
Come along as we uncover the hidden stories and ancient secrets that make Kathmandu one of the most fascinating places on Earth.
Our adventure continues as we arrive from Goa, following a rejuvenating week of yoga and meditation in South India.
Arriving in a new country always carries a bit of uncertainty, so we were grateful to be warmly welcomed at Kathmandu Airport by our hosts from Excellent Trek. Their friendliness felt like a breath of fresh Himalayan air as we looked ahead to the exciting and sometimes challenging adventures awaiting us over the next coming weeks.
All right, Miranda, why don't you give us an introduction to Nepal?
We've arrived in our lovely hotel room in Hotel Tamil Park on the garden side and the quiet side in Kathmandu. And we were greeted by our lovely drivers, and they came with 2 other people to greet us, and it was so lovely. They gave us, these things.
The welcome sashes.
The welcome sachets. And then also, when we arrived at the hotel, Suman, the owner of Excellent Trek and the guy that I've been communicating with, who has been so amazing and organized absolutely everything for us, from transport, the Bhutan trip, the 3 passes trek. The hotels, he's organized everything for us and has been so amazing with communication. He was there to greet us, which was a surprise. I didn't know we were going to meet him, and he just was like welcoming us to Nepal. It was a lovely little personal touch.
And they've organized everything for us, and they've refused to take $1 from us yet. So he's like, oh yeah, the day after tomorrow, but they've booked everything. They booked our flights to Bhutan.
Yeah, it's lovely, very trusting. Like we just paid him upfront, I think, a $100 deposit. A lot is on the line, and he's just like, we trust you.
Yeah, just a really trust-based culture. So it probably says a lot about the culture that we're going to see. I don't know. This is just first impressions, I suppose, and that's probably why we wanted to just make this video to let everyone know and let our future selves watching this know that.
Great first impressions.
Yeah, good first impressions of Nepal. Looking forward to exploring it. And tomorrow we're going to hit the ground running. We're doing a full day of checking out all the best sites around Kathmandu. We're doing the 7 UNESCO World Heritage sites in a day, which Suman's already told us is a very overwhelming day.
Well, we're going to see the highlights, and you know what? If there's somewhere that we really want to come back to, we have a few other days in Kathmandu, and we can always go back and explore more. So this will be a little taster.
So 10-hour tour tomorrow. So we're going to get some rest, and tomorrow morning we're going to explore the 7 UNESCO World Heritage sites of Kathmandu. We're in the center of the Durbar Square, and you can actually see in the background there some rubble from the earthquake back in 2015, 7.8 on the Richter scale. Now you'll see some of the buildings around me here actually quite new, and that's because they were rebuilt after the destruction of the earthquake, including this temple to Vishnu, this one here to Shiva, and this one here to Shiva as well, so Hindu temples, but no one refers to this as the Shiva temple because back in the late 60s, early 70s, this is where the hippies used to hang out. So this was the hippie street here, and people know of this as the hippie temple because they used to sit up there and smoke hashish, play guitar, and enjoy the hippie life. So up there is the biggest bell in Nepal. You can hear it ringing out right at 9 o'clock. So we're at the Kumari House in the UNESCO World Heritage listed Durbar Square, and Kumari is kind of an interesting topic here because Kumari actually means the living goddess, and there is what they believe to be considered a living goddess living here in this house. In fact, she only leaves the house a handful of times per year, and she lives up here in this top floor, so she may be watching or listening to us right now. It's quite a rigorous process to choose who becomes the living goddess, the Kumari. I believe you said there was 32 or 33 different qualities they need to seek out in a girl, and they essentially get all the villagers to bring their young girls along for this procession, and she lives as a living goddess for about 10 to 14 years, and once she begins to menstruate, that's when, you know, she's no longer the living goddess. And the tradition is quite a long tradition, and it goes back in legend as well. So there is actually quite a really interesting story, but we're going to head back out into the Durbar Square now. I've enjoyed this really beautiful 17th century building. It's all part of the UNESCO World Heritage Site. We're going to check out some more heritage sites, and as we mentioned before, we're going to see 7 different UNESCO World Heritage Sites today. We're now in Lahatuk, which was the king's palace. This was built back in the 17th century. You can see that there are 4 towers up here that represent the 4 separate kingdoms of Nepal, and the idea was that the king could sit up there in the towers and look towards each kingdom facing each direction, or 4 directions. Towers aren't quite as big as they once were because they were partially destroyed during the earthquake. You can see a picture over here. Renovations and reconstructions have been done with financial aid from China, which is quite interesting because we just went before to see the presidential palace, the administrative palace. That was all reconstructed with funds from the Americans. So you can see that there's a bit of a financial arms race, if you will, here between the 2 major superpowers. Interesting politics. This palace here was the 16th to the 19th century, and this one here was the 19th century onwards, which is still being reconstructed because of the earthquakes. Behind me here we've got the statue of Bhairab, which is one of the forms of Lord Shiva. Bhairab represents justice, so back in the old times what they actually used to do is if someone committed some sort of crime, they'd come down here and confess to Bhairab and tell the truth. If they didn't tell the truth, the legend has it that they would die from vomiting blood. Interesting fact is that this statue here is the only statue, or one of the only statues of Bhairab where he's smiling. Traditionally he's always looking very angry and menacing because he's forming judgment, and there is a small story behind why he's smiling. Apparently a guy came home and saw his wife cheating with another man, and he wanted to bring her down here to confess to Bhairab the truth, and she quickly went and saw her mother and apparently drank her mother's milk, and when she came down here to confess, she actually said that since she'd drank the milk of her mother, she'd never slept with another man. And he kind of smiled because he knew that was cheeky, but it was also the truth. So that's why he's smiling. Kind of has a sense of humor as well. Behind behind me we have the biggest temple in the Kathmandu or the Durbar Square here. It's called the Talaju Temple, which was built in the 17th century. In fact, it is the largest temple of the Mullah Empire in all of Nepal here. It only opens one day per year where they perform sacrifices of hundreds of animals. Generally, they'll only sacrifice the male animals. It's part of the belief, the spiritual belief. It's such an astounding temple. Absolutely amazing. This temple has 24 incarnations or statues up there of the Kama Sutra, positions of the Kama Sutra up there. Two reasons why. One is to educate young people about sex, you know, to increase the population, and also the opposite, the living goddess, the Kamari we spoke about before. She was said to be the goddess of lightning, and it was said that if she would come here, being such a young person, she would get embarrassed and leave, and it would protect the temple from lightning. Pretty crazy. This statue here shows the regular face of Bhairab, which is the statue we saw before of the form of Shiva, the judgment form. And this is kind of interesting because once a year they open this whole temple up for people to visit during a festival, and they actually serve alcohol from his mouth. And it said if you drink the alcohol from Bhairab's mouth, that you won't be sick for a whole year. This temple behind me here is Kathmandu, and that's where the name Kathmandu originally comes from. It's a 12th century temple, although the structure here itself has been rebuilt after the earthquake of 2015. It was said the original temple was all carved out of one single tree, which is kind of hard to believe. It'd be astounding if it was. And unfortunately, during the earthquake in 2015, there was a blood drive going on here, people donating their blood, and it collapsed and killed hundreds of people. So this is one of the places where people, you know, remember the devastation of the earthquake the most. So what did you think of the Durbar Square, Miranda?
It was so impressive. The architecture is a lot different from what we've seen.
Yeah, it's really starting to get that Himalayan feel.
Yeah.
And by the way, we're going to give a shout out to Sumit over here. This is the man whose information I've been stealing today. And what's the company that you work for, Sumit?
So I work for the luxury holidays.
Yeah. Is it the Relaxing Journeys?
It is, yeah.
Yeah,
it is.
beautiful.
Relaxed
Relaxed Getaways, sorry. Relaxed
it?
Getaways, yeah. We booked them on Viator, but I'd say book them directly. It's always the best way to do it. There's the Lord Buddha there signaling peace. If I throw this coin into that bucket there, I'm going to give peace on earth. Ready?
Oh, one more. Let's try it.
Oh, so
So close. No peace on earth
no
this
peace
time.
on earth today. So we're at our second UNESCO World Heritage site called Swayambhunath, better known as the Monkey Temple, just because the actual name is too difficult for most English-speaking tourists to pronounce. So the abundance of monkeys here gives it the name, the Monkey Temple. The stupa here is from the 16th century. It's a Buddhist stupa, and in the background there we've also got Hindu temple as well. So the site actually contains both. And this is the oldest, or one of the oldest stupas in the site. Oh, here's one of our monkeys here. This is a rhesus macaque? Macaque.
Here people, they feed the monkeys because people, they believe that once they feed the monkeys, that bring good luck and prosperity in their life. That's the reason that every day, also people, they feed the monkeys.
So this temple here is called Santipur, and the legend goes that there is a tantric inside there, a man from the 5th century who's been meditating in there all this time. This door never opens. In fact, during the earthquakes in 2015, when they were doing the restorations and the repairs of the building, they still refused to open the door. So nobody knows, but it's said that there is a staircase that leads to a cave, a cavern that's under the ground here, and that's where the tantric is there still since the 5th century.
Just looking at this part, and then I saw that, and I'm like, wow.
You're focused on those paintings. What do you think of the paintings, the craft
I
work?
love the paintings. I'm definitely going to be taking some home.
Miranda's buying everything from every country.
All the souvenirs.
It's very cool. Behind me here, we've got the Swayambhunath Stupa, which is said to be the oldest stupa in the world. Apparently, 5,000 years ago, there was a monk that came from the Tibetan plateau, and he came down here because he heard about a lotus flower that sat in the lake here, around where Kathmandu currently is, that produced its own light. And when he came down here, the legend says that apparently he carved out one of the mountainsides and released most of the water in that lake. And at that time, the lotus flower itself turned into the stupa. So that predates the Buddha himself by 2,500 years. But there is a lot of really interesting symbolism here. You can see the eyes and the nose and the eyebrows of the Buddha there, along with the third eye. The eyes apparently represent peace, and the nose is the Nepalese symbol for one, meaning that the world, we are all united as one. And also you can see there's the 13 different tiers up there that lead to enlightenment. And you've got the many different Buddhas, the incarnations of the Buddhas around there as well. So very, very beautiful monument right here. I'm gonna go check it out. Behind us here you can see the Kathmandu Valley. We're at 1,400 meters above sea level right now, and you can see in the background here some of the foothills of the Himalayas. We haven't quite reached the Himalayas themselves yet, but we'll be seeing them very shortly. This isn't something I didn't expect to see in Nepal. They actually have coconuts here. So down in the south on the border of India, it's warm enough to grow coconuts. And Sumit was saying this is his sacrifice to the gods, so I'm having this one for Sumit. It was my sacrifice. There we go. Yum? Yum, yum, yum? Oh, that's good.
Here's one, Sam.
I'm ready to get too skittish.
The heat makes me like...
Oh, this one? Show us, buddy. There you go.
Aww.
They are definitely a lot more relaxed than the ones in India. Ones in India will just jump all over you.
Ones too.
Oh,
The big one. No one eats until this guy eats. The baby.
Oh. I'm scared to accept one.
Okay.
think of the monkey temple?
Oh, it was so cool. I really enjoyed it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's an awesome site. So 2 of the 7 UNESCO World Heritage sites. We've got 5 more to go. So the guy you actually see up there is called Manjusri, and apparently he was the first monk of the world. This is the one that I mentioned earlier that came from the Tibetan plateau and came down here and cut open the valley with his sword, which you can see him holding up there. So typically in the statues of Manjusri that you see around Kathmandu, he's holding that sword. A little bit of rain right now. We're at our 3rd UNESCO World Heritage Site. This is called Patan Durbar, and this one here was a separate city within the Kathmandu Valley back in the 16th century when this was at its peak. We're about to enter into the palace right now. We've got 2 lions guarding the front here. This is pretty typical for the palaces. This one's male, you can see by his genitalia, and then over there with the female. And up there, we've got the intestines, real intestines of the buffalo that was sacrificed, and buffalo were said to represent demonic gods, so that's to stop the demons from coming in. And we have another temple here to the goddess Talaju, not quite as big as the one that we saw in the first square, but this one's still pretty impressive. We've got 2 icons here at the front there. So we've got the goddess of the Ganga River and the goddess of the Yamuna River, 2 very sacred and spiritual rivers in the Hindu religion. Both rivers we visited, actually. We visited the Ganga or the Ganges in Varanasi, and we visited the Yamuna in Agra, where we saw the Taj Mahal. All of this stuff was actually built using a lot of the funding and taxes collected for the trade route between India and Tibet. This was right in the heart of that trade route. So it was during the golden age of Nepal, which was between the 15th and the 18th century, and that's when they were able to build some of these magnificent structures we're checking. We're at the Royal Bath, and this beautiful Royal Bath is considered one of the most beautiful, if not the most beautiful royal baths in all of Nepal, due to all the beautiful intricate statues that we can see around here. Unfortunately, some are missing, which is why it wasn't open to the public up until recent years, out of fear that the public would steal some of these statues and sell them off. The actual bath itself was operating, the fountain that supplies the water was operating up until about 15-20 years ago. There's a whole network of underground water systems up here, kind of like channels, canals, that connect up into the hills. So during the monsoon season, you get 100 days of rain, straight rain, and they're able to operate these baths and wells throughout all of Kathmandu 365 days a year. And the only reason why some of these are ceasing to work up until this day is because of new constructions. When roads and buildings are being built, it's basically cutting off the supply system. So unfortunately, this one here is no longer operating, but we still get to see it. And what you can also see on top there is the Krishna temple, which is a replica of the one outside. We're about to go see that one outside. king up here on this statue, Nog Larinja Mara, he apparently, according to legend, is still alive, and they generally keep the windows open of this palace. Unfortunately, there's reconstructions at the moment, but the reason why they do that is because they think he's going to come back at some point, and they're welcoming him back into this palace. In fact, people still come here and offer him food. And the legend says when the bird on the top of the statue flies away, and when these elephants over here go down to the well to drink, that's when they know that he has actually died. So, who knows? The Krishna Mandir behind me here. So this is the Krishna temple I spoke about at the bath a little bit earlier here. It's done in a Sikri style, which is a northern Indian style, and on the birthday of Krishna, people come here and worship him, and apparently it's very, very popular. So now we're at the Golden Temple, which is actually the oldest temple in here. So this one goes back to, I believe he said, the 16th century. And the Golden Temple is actually a Buddhist temple, but because the Hindus believe that Buddha was an incarnation of the Lord Vishnu, they also come here and worship the Buddha as well in this area. Currently, the temple, the main priest in the temple is a 12-year-old boy, and the tradition is that the priest will rule for 1 month. He cannot leave the temple complex during that 1 month period, and he also can't change his clothes. And after 1 month, then there'll be a different priest, which is typically another young boy.
A short drive of less than 30 minutes brings us to the nearby city of Bhaktapur.
So we're at UNESCO World Heritage Site number 4 for today. This is called Bhaktapur, and it's the largest site that we'll see today. It's 6.8 square kilometers, which actually classifies it as a small city. Technically, it's the smallest city in Nepal. It also has the title of being the cleanest city in Nepal, and much of the area is actually closed off to traffic. So it is pedestrian, which keeps it so clean, and it's so well maintained. Absolutely stunning with all these UNESCO World Heritage monuments surrounding us here. So we're going to have a little bit of an exploration about Bhaktapur, or around Bhaktapur I should say. But if you truly want to explore Bhaktapur, you'd really need a whole day to explore this place. It's absolutely massive. Hello. Hi. Namaste. My name is Shane. What is your name? Shane. Nice to meet you.
Hello.
Do you guys know this one? Apples. We just got ambushed by a bunch of little children. They look like they're having a good time though. I was just going to mention that these 4 temples here, they actually represent the 4 main pilgrimage sites in the Hindu religion, which are all located in India, and a lot of people here in Nepal, they can't make the long migration and the difficult migration to India for the pilgrimage. So instead they actually worship these 4 temples here, which are mini replicas of each site. Here they go. Whoa! We've just crossed through the Golden Gate, which is considered the most beautiful gate in all of Nepal, and now we're going to see the Royal Bath of Bhaktapur. Let's go check it out. So the guy sitting up here in the statue was the most famous of the Malla emperors from this area here, from Bhaktapur. His name was Malla, and he actually built this building over here with 55 separate windows for his 55 separate wives. And Bhaktapur was actually the capital of the region from the 12th to the 15th century during the Malla dynasty.
It's like a Nepalese pizza.
Oh, Nepalese pizza. Yeah. Now let's do the bara.
Vegetarian?
She's vegetarian, but I mean.
Also, like you can have the meat ones.
Oh, that's delicious. So this is the aloo takari. Yeah, so which is the potato curry. And then we're gonna get some Nepalese style pizzas, which kind of look like a crepe omelette thing. We're gonna get some of those.
What do you think, Miranda?
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Not too spicy for you?
It's a little spicy. It's alright.
So this is the barat here, the Nepali pizza. What's in it? It's kind of egg. Oh, they got the plain one, Miranda. The vegetarian
Thank you
one.
so much.
Do you want extra?
This is fine.
That's fine. Yeah. What's in this? So it's egg, aloo, the potato with some beans.
Yep.
What sort of meat?
They have the buff.
Beef.
Buff. Not beef, buff.
What's buff?
Buff. It's buffalo meat.
Buffalo.
Buffalo meat, yeah. And
Got some buffalo. All right.
Masco dal.
Mascota, and it's a type of lentil. It's dal, yeah.
So it's a lentil, black lentil.
Yeah.
So first we they just put the lentil dal.
Yeah.
They put the dal in the water for the whole night.
Okay.
And in the morning time, they just mix it. They make the flour of it.
Yeah.
And this is how they prepare this.
Beautiful. It's delicious. Really good. What?
Really good.
Behind me here we have the Natapur temple, which is the tallest temple in all of Nepal at 105 feet or 32 meters tall. 5 stories this one here is, and it's dedicated to Lakshmi, who was the goddess or the wife of Shiva. In one of Shiva's forms, he was known as Bairam. Now, the reason why they built this massive temple here was actually to balance out the negative energy coming from the Bairam temple there, thinking that if they brought his wife into the picture here, that she would be able to balance out that negative energy. But it's a pretty amazing sight, and like I said, the tallest temple in Nepal. Now we're in the pottery square of Bhaktapur, and you can see people actually making, handcrafting the pottery here, and outside here they're left out to dry, and now we're going to go check the oven. And apparently this is one of, or if not the biggest areas in Nepal for making clay items. Alright, so this is Jujutal, and apparently it is. Sumit says it's the best yogurt in Nepal.
Look at that.
It's curdy. Yum?
Whoa.
Yeah,
That
intense.
is creamy.
Creamy? Alright, perfect. I'm gonna give that a try.
Yeah, the top is the creamiest
The good
part,
part.
and then under, yeah.
Alright, I'll give it a try. right, UNESCO World Heritage Site number 5, Changu Narayan, which is this beautiful structure here. Changu being the types of trees that we have over here in the forest, and Narayan is one of the names of Vishnu, which this temple is dedicated to. It is said to be the oldest temple in Nepal, going back to the 3rd and 4th century. Its first texts date back to the 5th century, pretty much talking about this temple itself here. The current structure and form that we see here actually goes back to the earthquake in 2015, because it has been renovated since then, but still a very, very important and sacred religious site. The stone scripture we see down here is the oldest stone scripture in Nepal. It's called the Lichavi, which goes back to 5th century. And in fact, the Lichavi dynasty, which it talks about the history of, was actually the 4th dynasty in Nepal. So the earlier dynasties, the first 3, are only mentioned in legends. This is the first actual documented written history right here.
From Bhaktapur, we return to Kathmandu to explore our final 2 heritage sites.
So this is Boudhanath here. This is the largest stupa in Nepal. This is called Kora, walking around the stupa in a circle.
So people, they make the kora, they go around the stupa, and they make the wishes. That helps them to make their wishes come true.
Come true. Okay, all right. Well, we better start making some wishes. So I'm going to switch this off and start focusing on what I want, especially with this big trip coming up, this big trek around up to base camp. I'm going to make sure that can I say what my wish is?
Yeah, you say.
Yeah. So I wish that we have a very successful journey and great weather.
And this stupa, this is also known as a wish-fulfilling stupa.
The wishful feeling.
By standing in front of the stupa, if people they make any wishes, so their wishes will come true.
All right, let's see. We'll find out soon. So this temple in Stupa is also the center of Tibetan Buddhism here in Nepal. In fact, the Tibetan people and their migrations trading back and forth with India and with Nepal, they would always stop here, and this would be their main stupa, their main temple that they would go to. And they basically wished for good luck on their journey back across to the Tibetan plateau, over and through the Himalayas. In 1958, when the issues occurred with the Chinese coming into Tibet, a lot of the Tibetan Buddhists were expelled from the country. A lot of them moved to India and a lot to Nepal, and this is the center where a lot of them came to Nepal, specifically this point in this area here. We're at our final UNESCO World Heritage Site, number 7 here, which is the most important pilgrimage site for the Hindu people in Nepal. It's the Pashupatinath temple here, which is actually considered also to be the head of Lord Shiva. The Hindus throughout the world come here to actually see this spot. Even most of the Hindus from India, where most of the religious Hindu sites are, they come here and consider this one of their top pilgrimage sites. So we're getting some reminiscence of Varanasi right now. We're on the Bagmati River, which actually does join up to the Ganga or the Ganges River. So it is in effect related to what we saw in Varanasi. The cremation here essentially is done because they believe that the remains that get put into the river at the end of the cremation eventually reach down to the Ganga, and then when they get onto the Ganges River, they go out to essentially Nirvana, which is their heaven. And the idea is that it stops the whole cycle of rebirth that they believe that we live in, and once that rebirth is stopped, then they can reach what is called Nirvana. Here they actually burn 40 to 50 bodies per day down here. You can actually smell it right now. It's quite overpowering, the smell of it. This is where the regular people are cremated. The upper class people are cremated a little bit further down.
Hi, namaste.
Namaste. So behind we have the temple of Parvati here. It's called Batlisori, which means lovely wife, and they actually, in March here, every year they do sacrifices, animalistic sacrifices, where they sacrifice 5 different kinds of animals, but up until the 6th century they're actually sacrificing human beings in there. So you can see the stone flat down there. So the tradition is that the families will come here with the dead, and then they'll lie the dead body down here on the stone and wash the feet, which washes the sins from the person who is deceased, and then that will help them reach Nirvana and end the cycle of rebirth there. Behind us here we have the only hospice in Nepal. Generally the wealthier people will bring the elderly or whoever is sick and dying to this place here, and when the doctors deem that that person is ready to move on, even if they're still alive, they'll bring them down to that stone slab down there, and essentially they'll lie there until they have actually passed on. I know it sounds really, really grim, but this is actually a joyous occasion for the people here, because this means that they are ending that cycle and they are going to what they deem as nirvana, you know, this never-ending peace and enlightenment. So for them, it's actually a good thing, and it's actually bad luck for family members to be sad during those moments. So family members here are instructed to be happy, to be cheerful, and that will help assist them on to the end. The other thing I should mention is this stone over here was traditionally reserved for the kings and queens and the royal family during their cremation, but since 2008, Nepal is now a republic and they're no longer kings and queens. If you throw a coin from the top of this balcony up here to a red temple over there, it means you get good luck. But a lot of people miss and it ends up in the river, which means it's good luck for the children that go looking around in the river for the coins. And further down, we saw some men digging around looking for gold and any jewelry that the dead may have left behind. So behind us there we have the most important Hindu temple in Nepal, Pashupatinath, which was the original name of Nepal actually, up until about 4,000 years ago. It became known as Nepal because of the blankets that they were making out of yak hair, which were famous in Tibet with the traders up there, so it became referred to as Nepal, the area here. But the temple itself is dedicated to Lord Shiva. The original temple was built there about 4th century BC. It was destroyed by the Mughals in the 14th century, and this one here has been rebuilt in the 17th century. But there's always been a temple there dedicated to Shiva, which is used to cleanse people of their sins and bring good luck. And every February they have a big festival here where about 1 million people come here. Yeah, 1 million people come here in pilgrimage to this area here, including the sadhus, right? The sadhus. So the sadhus are the people, I don't know, maybe some people may have heard of them. They're completely naked, and during the festival they actually tie large rocks to their penis and drag the rocks with their penis, which is pretty gnarly. It's insane. But yeah, that's what they do here, and it's a very spiritual place for the Hindu people. get some popcorn.
Oh, popcorn! Look at that.
We're at the House of Beers here in Kathmandu, and I'm having my Oktoberfest beer in celebration for our friends in Munich, Germany right now. We're about to order some food here and just relax. It's pouring rain outside, so we pretty much did nothing today, but we've got a big flight tomorrow. We're heading to Bhutan, so it's going to be a good week coming up in Bhutan. Okay, so this is amazing. This is the pork sedenko. It's a Nepalese dish, and we've got the momos here, the Nepalese dumplings, and these are made of buffalo, so looking forward to that. What'd you get, Miranda?
Arancini. Mushroom and cheese arancini.
They look pretty good, actually. This all looks really good.
Heavy rain and flooding almost cancelled our flight to Bhutan, but thankfully we were able to depart. Bhutan is known as one of the most beautiful and happiest places on Earth. Join us in the next episode as we discover why. Hey guys, just a quick message. We really hope you enjoyed this video.
If there's anyone you think would enjoy our videos, please share and help us grow global travel stories. We thank you for your support.
It's like flooding.